Hello again everyone, and welcome to part 4 of the Download Updater training video. This is going to be the last one in this group. Last time we left off, we were just starting to get into the download complete session for the actual application, so that's where we're going to pick it up. One of the important things that I like about this program is when you click on your application and your application's running and you go to your help menu or your button to check for updates, your application's open. Now you could close your application after you click on the update button, or you can have the update application do it for you. So that's what we're going to do here, is show you how to go ahead and set up finding out where or what the process name is and how to shut it down. So the first thing we need to do is to mention a couple of variables. One of them I called proc is as a process, and then I dim an array of processes as process. Then I call proc name as a string is equal to the name of the application without the extension. So in this case it would be update test. And then I just dimmed result as a dialog result for the message box. Now I set up a link here, a go-to link. I know a lot of people don't like go-to links, but they're there for a reason, and in this case it works pretty good for what I need it to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ask Windows to get our process, or all processes, named update.test. The reason you want to get all processes is you may have an application that can run multiple versions of itself or multiple instances. If you're going to update the program, they all have to be shut down for that program to update. So we're going to get an array of processes called update test. Now the first thing I do is check afterwards is there more than 0? If there's 0, then the process isn't running. So then I don't need to worry about it being closed. And if it's not running, I can just go ahead, jump right down here, and do my file copy. If the process comes back as the application is still open, I run a message that says, hey, you need to close your application. I can either do it for you, you can do it yourself, or you can cancel the application or cancel the update. I set up a select statement here to check the result. First case is if it's ignore. Ignore means go ahead and try and close it automatically. And we'll go through that one first. First thing I'm going to do is do a try, because I don't want to crash the application if for some reason it can't close that program. So now I already have an array of processes here. Now even if there's just one in there, I can still use an array. It works just fine. So for each process, so for each proc, which is a process, in processes, which is an array of processes, I'm going to go ahead and close the main window. And then I'm going to wait for that program to exit and tell me it's done, that it's closed, before I go back and try again. Now once it goes back here and tries again, if there's no more processes, obviously it just falls through. If for some reason this close or wait for exit fails, I'm going to pop up a message saying, hey, something happened here. I don't know what happened, but I've got to close. And that's pretty much how to close the application. It's pretty straightforward. Again, I give the option up here of letting the person or the customer or client close it himself in case he wants to save something before he does this. And I also give them the chance to abort the update and do it at a later time. And if he does the retry, he needs to close the application by himself. So what I do is I go back up to the top and I look for the process again to make sure it's closed. Because let's say it's a application that has to do a lot of file maintenance or something like that before it closes. So if he clicks close and then comes back here and clicks retry, that application might not have closed yet. And I don't want to try my file copy because that would fail. So I go back here and I check until that application is closed, and then I'll go ahead and go on through. Once I fall through this, it's again pretty straightforward. I do a file copy because the file's already been downloaded to the temporary path. I know it's going to be an exe, so I'm going to take it from the temporary and I'm going to put it in the application path using the application name. and I'm going to add true at the end to make sure I overwrite it. Then I'm going to pop up a message box saying, hey, update was successful. Do you want to restart the application? Give the user the option of restarting the application. And if he does, I just go ahead and I process start the same application using the .exe. And then after all that's done, after I start the application, I delete the exe. Again, just basic file maintenance. You don't want to be cluttering up their computer with all kinds of files. And I close the application. And again, here's the percentage. So in case this is a very large file, you show that the application is actually doing something and not in a hung state. Now, one thing I didn't mention, that's pretty much it for the whole application. One thing I didn't mention when I was showing you the check for updates version, where I get the parameters. How does the program know to look for parameters? Well, in debug, command line arguments is here. All you need to do is put in placeholders for how many variables or parameters you are expecting. If you're expecting 5 parameters, like I am, you put in 5 placeholders here. Or you can actually put in the value yourself. So if I didn't want to put this in there, let me just copy this out of the way here for a minute. Put that aside. Remember back in one of my other videos, I had all this information here of how this was formatted with the spaces and the exclamation or the quote lines around everything. I could actually put that in here. Okay, now if you look at this, I have the spaces in between. I have quotes around things that need quotes if they have spaces in them. So this will run. I don't even need to run the other program. The nice thing about doing it this way, if I put the actual values in here, is I can debug it. Because if I'm running a different application like my update.test program, if I run this program, I can't debug the DLL updates.exe. But by putting in these values here in the command line arguments, I can actually debug this program right from here. So I can come in here and I can say I am going to stop right here. And I'm going to go ahead and run it. And I can check. Gee, I need an update. I can click update. Bing. I can stop right here and I can troubleshoot it. And all my values are there. Kind of cool. Let me go ahead and stop that application. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this all together and we'll go from start to finish and show how to get this to function in a way that makes it easier for everybody. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to build my DLL application. Then I'm also going to open up update test and I'm going to come here to update test. I'm going to change the assembly version to 17. Come in here and I'm going to change the color again. Let's go with a nice no, I don't like maroon. How about a light coral? Okay, we're going to save that. I'm going to right click and I'm going to build that application. Okay, now I need to take my update test program. I'm going to copy it. I am going to put it in my web page. As you can see, I already have one there. I'm going to update it. I'm going to run this. Okay, I'm at 17. There's a version 17 out there. Now, these other things that you see in here, that's the web page. That's part of my web page. The program I use to design that puts all this extra stuff in there. If you want to handwrite a basic little HTML document just for your bugs, fixes, updates, notices, or anything like that, again, that's up to you. And the last thing I need to do now I have to go get my DL update, the most current version, copy. I need to put that in where my program is. Now again, I'm doing this, you don't have to do this because if you run the setup, these two programs are going to be installed automatically. So you don't have to keep updating the DL updates. I'm doing that just for this application to show you how it's done. Okay, so now we've got our startup. Our program is ready to go. This is an old version. If you look at this right now, it's version 16. I just updated ours to 17. So let's go ahead and close all these. I'm going to go ahead and run the test. Bring this back over here to the center. Check for updates. I get my user account control screen that tells me that it wants permission to make changes to this computer. I click yes. Get my software updater application window. Check for updates. Tells me I have a new update. Go ahead and update it. Program's still open here. So I'm going to go ahead and click ignore to go ahead and try and close it automatically. Automatically closed the application and now it updated it and wants to restart. Go ahead and restart it. Oh, there it is over there. I've got it all done. Now if I check for updates again, I'm at the current version. Close my application. Open up the location of where the program was installed with the setup, and if I right click on my application and go to properties, details, you see I'm at version 10017, which is the latest and greatest. Okay, I thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good day.